Milky Way travel in the United States begins with a simple truth. The galaxy is always there. But our ability to see it depends on darkness, dry air, elevation, and a horizon free of glare. The most reliable nights are clustered around the new moon, when moonlight doesn't wash out faint starlight. If you plan your trip with a lunar calendar and arrive after astronomical twilight ends, you're not just stargazing. You're stepping into a view that shaped navigation, indigenous sky knowledge, early American surveying, and the modern science of light pollution. Across the country, a handful of places protect that experience with unusual care through park policies, community lighting ordinances, and geography that naturally keeps the sky clear. Start in West Texas at Big Bend National Park, a landscape so sparsely populated that darkness becomes a physical presence. Big Bend is regularly cited among the darkest skies in the lower 48, and it's easy to understand why. Hundreds of miles from major cities, the park sits in a desert basin edged by the Chisos Mountains and carved by the Rio Grande. On new moon nights, the Milky Way arches from horizon to horizon, and the sky can look textured, almost three-dimensional, with star clouds and dark dust lanes. The park's human history adds another layer: ancient rock art, ranching remnants, and borderland culture, reminding you that people have used these night skies for orientation and storytelling for thousands of years. Travel tip: desert air cools quickly after sunset. Bring layers and choose a pullout or trailhead with a wide southern view if you want the Milky Way's brightest core, which appears in the southern sky during late spring through early fall. Farther west, in New Mexico, the Cosmic Campground International Dark Sky Sanctuary offers a rarer promise. Not just dark skies, but a dedicated culture of darkness. Located in the Gila National Forest, this is a remote, no-fee camping area designed specifically for astronomy, with a lighting policy that helps keep the night intact. The surrounding region is steeped in sky history. New Mexico is home to major observatories and a long tradition of astronomical research, aided by high altitude and dry climate. Here, on a moonless night, you can often see the Milky Way's mottled structure with the naked eye, and binoculars reveal dense star fields that feel almost crowded. Travel tip: services are minimal. Bring water, check road conditions, and plan for self-sufficiency. The reward is a sky that feels close enough to touch. In Arizona, Grand Canyon Parashant National Monument is one of the most remote units of the national park system, and that remoteness is the point. Unlike the heavily visited South Rim, Parashant is a rugged expanse of plateaus, cinder cones, and canyons where rough roads and long distances keep crowds away. The darkness here is often exceptional, and the horizon can be dramatically open, ideal for panoramic Milky Way viewing. The monument also sits within a larger region shaped by indigenous histories and geologic time on a grand scale. Travel tip: high-clearance vehicles are often recommended, and navigation requires care. If you're prepared, Parashant offers a sense of solitude that matches the scale of the sky. Also in Arizona, Flagstaff stands out for a different reason. It's a city that chose darkness. Flagstaff is widely recognized as the world's first international dark sky city, building on a legacy tied to Lowell Observatory, founded in 1894. This is where Percival Lowell pursued his famous, controversial ideas about Mars, and where Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto in 1930. Local lighting ordinances, designed to protect astronomical research, now protect the night for everyone. From nearby open areas and high country viewpoints, you can see the Milky Way while still enjoying a town with hotels, restaurants, and a strong outdoor culture. Travel tip: if you want both convenience and serious stargazing, Flagstaff is a rare sweet spot. Schedule your night viewing after the last traces of twilight, and consider pairing it with a visit to Lowell Observatory for context on how light control supports science. In Utah, Natural Bridges National Monument offers a classic dark sky experience with a geological twist. This canyon country monument, known for 3 massive natural bridges carved by water, was the first international dark sky park certified by the International Dark Sky Association. The high desert air is often clear, and the monument's small footprint makes it easy to find a viewing area with minimal stray light. The sky here can appear startlingly crisp, and on new moon nights the Milky Way can look like a luminous river flowing over the canyon rim. Travel tip. Summer brings the Milky Way core into prime view, but also heat and occasional monsoon storms. Shoulder seasons often provide the best balance of comfort and clarity. In California, Death Valley National Park offers darkness on a grand scale, especially away from the developed areas. The park's extremes, below sea level basins, salt flats, and mountain ranges, create dramatic silhouettes that frame the stars. Dry air and wide horizons make for excellent Milky Way visibility, and the sense of space is immense. The human story here includes Timbisha Shoshone heritage and the hard lessons of desert travel from the era of early prospectors and wagon routes. Travel tip. Heat is not an accessory detail, it's the central safety issue. In warm months, plan stargazing for late night, carry abundant water, and never underestimate how quickly conditions can turn dangerous. Off the California coast, Channel Islands National Park adds a maritime version of darkness, where the Milky Way competes with the hush of the Pacific. The islands are far from urban glare, and on clear nights the sky can be remarkably dark, with the added beauty of ocean horizons and, at times, bioluminescence along the shore. The islands hold deep indigenous history and a unique ecological story. Isolated habitats that produced distinctive species and landscapes. Travel tip. Logistics matter here. Ferries, weather, and camping permits can shape your plan. If you can stay overnight, you'll experience the islands after day trippers leave, when the night sky becomes the main event. In Colorado, Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve pairs celestial viewing with an unlikely foreground. The tallest dunes in North America, piled against the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. The dunes create clean, sculpted lines that make night photography especially striking, and the high elevation can sharpen the stars. This is also a place where water and wind constantly rearrange the landscape. Even familiar footprints vanish quickly. Travel tip. Temperatures can drop sharply at night, and sand holds the day's heat longer than you might expect. Bring a ground layer or blanket if you plan to sit for long stretches, and be mindful of fragile dune ecosystems. Stay on durable surfaces where possible. In Michigan, Headlands International Dark Sky Park near Mackinac City proves you don't need deserts to see the Milky Way. Here, the northern sky opens over Lake Michigan, and the water helps create a broad, low horizon, excellent for watching the Milky Way rise and for catching auroras when solar activity cooperates. The region is rich in Great Lakes maritime history, from shipping routes to lighthouses, and the night sky feels like part of that navigational heritage. Travel tip. Humidity and clouds can be the main obstacles. Check forecasts carefully and arrive early to secure a spot. This park is popular precisely because it offers serious darkness with accessible infrastructure. Finally, in Maine, Acadia National Park brings stargazing to granite peaks and Atlantic shorelines. While the Northeast has more population density than the desert Southwest, Acadia still offers meaningful darkness, especially from elevated viewpoints like Cadillac Mountain and from quieter stretches away from village lights. The park's history includes early conservation efforts and the philanthropic vision that helped shape it into a national park. and its cultural landscape carries traces of fishing communities and coastal life. On a crisp new moon night, the Milky Way can appear as a pale, intricate band over the ocean, and the soundscape, wind, surf, distant gulls, makes the experience feel elemental. Travel tip: coastal weather changes fast. Pack warm layers even in summer, and remember that clear skies can arrive after a day of fog. Across all 10 places, the best new moon guide is a set of habits that turns a good night into an unforgettable one. First, plan for the moonless window, roughly from a couple of nights before new moon to a couple after, with the darkest hours coming when the moon is below the horizon. Second, arrive later than you think. Many people show up at sunset and leave too early. The sky continues to darken well past dusk. Third, protect your night vision. Use a dim red light if you need illumination, and give your eyes 20 to 30 minutes to adapt. Fourth, respect the resource. Darkness is increasingly treated like a natural asset, something parks and communities actively manage. Keep headlights and bright screens under control. Follow local rules and leave no trace. The Milky Way you see from these places is not a single object, but a view through the disk of our own galaxy, where billions of stars compress into a luminous band. The bright bulge near Sagittarius, often called the galactic core, becomes the showpiece of summer nights in much of the United States. In winter, the Milky Way is still present, but its brightest region is less prominent, and the sky's highlights shift to crisp constellations and star clusters. Either way, the experience connects modern travelers to an older human instinct: to look up, measure our place, and feel the scale of the world expand. In these dark sky sanctuaries, desert basins, canyon rims, dunes, islands, lake shores, and granite peaks, the night isn't empty. It's richly detailed, carefully protected, and waiting for you to time your visit to the quiet power of a moonless sky.